Welcome to the Manager Lab, where we delve into the increasingly dynamic world of talent management. In each episode, we will unravel key insights, break down the most relevant books and articles, and provide actionable tips to optimize your approach in developing and retaining top talent. Stay tuned for a deep dive into the art, science, and strategy of unlocking your team's full potential. Let's enter the Manager Lab. Well, welcome back to the lab. Today we're exploring one of the most powerful chapters in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell, the Law of Explosive Growth. Maxwell summarizes the entire chapter in one unforgettable sentence. To add growth, lead followers. To multiply growth, lead leaders. Now, at first glance, that statement may seem simple, but if you truly understand it and apply it, it can completely transform the impact you have as a manager. Many leaders spend their careers building teams by attracting followers. They become the center of activity. People come to them for answers, direction, decisions, even motivation. The team grows because the leader grows. But Maxwell argues that there is a limit to this approach. If every decision, every solution, every initiative depends on one leader, growth eventually plateaus. Explosive growth happens when leaders stop focusing exclusively on developing followers and start intentionally developing other leaders. That shift changes everything. Now, Maxwell explains that when you lead followers, you can increase your influence through addition. You might manage 10 people, then 20, then 50, but your impact is still limited by your own personal capacity. There are only so many meetings you can attend. There are only so many coaching conversations you can have. Only so many problems you can solve. Eventually, you become the bottleneck. But when you develop leaders, growth becomes multiplication. Those leaders begin developing other leaders. Those others begin developing still more leaders. And so the organization's capacity expands far beyond what any one person could accomplish alone. This is why the most successful organizations, businesses, ministries, and movements invest heavily in leadership development. They understand that people create results, but leaders create more people who create results. So one of the examples that Maxwell discusses throughout his leadership journey is his commitment to leadership development rather than personal achievement. As his organizations grew, he realized he could no longer personally touch every person. Instead, he invested his energy into identifying potential leaders and then helping them grow. His focus shifted from asking, how can I get more done, to asking, how can I help more leaders get more done? That's a very different question. Now, many managers are rewarded because they're excellent individual performers. They're organized, knowledgeable, dependable. But leadership requires a transition. The goal is no longer to be the smartest person in the room. The goal is to build a room full of smart, capable leaders. All right, so why do managers often struggle with this particular law? Here's the challenge. Developing followers feels efficient. Developing leaders feels slow. Followers need instructions. Leaders need development. Followers can be directed. Leaders must be coached. Followers execute tasks. Leaders learn to think. And all of that takes time. Maxwell points out that developing leaders requires significantly more investment than developing followers. You have to delegate authority. You have to allow mistakes. You have to teach judgment. You have to trust before you're completely comfortable. And many managers avoid this because it just feels too risky. It's often faster to just do the work yourself. But while doing it yourself may save time today, it very much limits your growth tomorrow. So here's key takeaway number 1. Stop being the hero. One of the biggest traps for managers is becoming the team's hero. Every problem comes to you. Every decision waits for your approval. Every challenge requires your intervention. And so at first it feels good. People need you. You feel valuable. You feel important. But over time, Hero leadership creates dependency, and dependency always limits growth. The best leaders don't create followers who need them. They create leaders who can succeed without them. And a powerful question to ask yourself here is, am I solving problems for my team, or am I developing people who can solve problems themselves? That single question can reveal whether you're creating addition or multiplication. Key takeaway number 2, identify leadership potential early. Maxwell teaches that leaders should constantly be looking for emerging leaders, not just top performers, but potential leaders. Those aren't always the same people. The best salesperson isn't necessarily the best future leader. The most technically skilled employee isn't always the person who can influence other people. So look for people who take initiative, influence peers positively, accept responsibility, demonstrate good judgment, and show a desire to grow. Once you identify them, invest in them intentionally. Leadership development rarely happens accidentally. Okay, key takeaway number 3, give away responsibility, not just tasks. Many managers believe they're delegating when they're really just assigning work. There's a difference. Assigning work means giving someone a task. Developing leaders means giving someone ownership, because ownership requires decision-making. It requires accountability. It requires trust. If every single decision still comes back to you as the manager, leadership development isn't happening. A practical approach is to gradually expand decision authority, allow emerging leaders to lead meetings, own projects, facilitate discussions, solve customer issues, present recommendations. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is growth. And key takeaway number 4, measure success differently. Many managers measure success by their own performance. Maxwell challenges us to measure success by the growth of others. Think about your best leaders. How many new leaders have they developed? How many people have become more capable because of their influence? How many future leaders are stronger because they invested their time and energy? Leadership is not measured by what you accomplish alone. It's measured by what continues after you're gone. That's multiplication. So here's 3 practical actions for managers that you can try this week. Action number 1, identify your future leaders. Create a list of 3 people on your team who show leadership potential. Again, not necessarily the highest performers, but potential leaders. And then schedule development conversations with them. Ask them about their goals. Ask what leadership opportunities interest them, and begin investing intentionally. Action number 2, delegate a leadership opportunity. This week, don't just assign a task, assign ownership. Allow someone to lead a meeting or manage a project or make a recommendation. Then coach them afterward, because growth happens through experience. And action number 3, spend time developing instead of directing. For 1 week, whenever someone brings you a problem, resist the urge to immediately provide the answer. Instead, ask, what options do you see here? What would you recommend? What have you already tried? Teach people how to think. That's leadership development in action. So in closing, the law of explosive growth challenges one of the most common assumptions in management. Many leaders believe their value comes from being indispensable. Maxwell teaches the opposite. Your greatest value comes from making yourself less indispensable by developing other leaders. Followers increase your reach. Leaders multiply your impact. Followers help you succeed today, but leaders help the organization succeed long after you're gone. The ultimate test of leadership isn't how many followers or people follow you. It's how many leaders emerge because of you. So as you move through this week, ask yourself, am I building followers or am I building leaders? Because according to Maxwell, when you develop followers, growth is added. But when you develop leaders, growth becomes explosive. And that's where extraordinary leadership begins. Until next time, keep growing, keep investing in others, and keep leading with purpose. And until we meet next time in the Manager Lab, do good work.